It looks like the audio is good. All right. So, like a quick rundown of the build, because I know you can all pretty much read it and copy it easily. So, we're running the mantras of Solace, the Clear one, which is the middle one, and the stab one. You can trade out the stab one for the righteous indignation. No, renewed focus. My bad. And then for the other two skills, we have stand your ground, very important, and MI, merciful intervention. Trait line is honor, virtues, firebrand, and for honor we go the first one, so we get more healing because we block a crap ton, and then the second one we go Aegis healing on block because we shit out a ton of Aegis, and a 1.5k heal is nothing to sniff it out. It's a pretty good thing. And the last one is vitality and healing others. That's just basically what we want, are those two things. Next trait line is virtues. We got, I think we go the middle one. Yeah, we go middle. Then we go middle again to get rid of those condies when we open up book 2. I'll go more in depth on what I mean by these in a second. And the last one, we go the bottom one for that beautiful stab. And then for firebrand is bottom for more book pages. Bottom again for that regen. And bottom again. For the armor, it is full minstrels. Armor, weapons, trinkets are all minstrels. There's really nothing else that beats it at this point. It's just OP. It does everything we want. For infusions, I go healing because I don't really need the boon duration with the concentration sigils. The rune I have on my armor is water. I don't know if I updated that on the build though.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I did. Okay, good. And then the sigils, this is kind of it's kind of preference based, but I like to go energy on both. I like to go energy on both, even though I have that there too. That's good. Okay. But right now I'm not wearing energy on both just because I like to go a little ballsy when we're facing SPI. But basically, you want to go energy on both because your dodge rolls heal people, and dodging is like the most OP thing in the game, especially as a frontliner. You're going to want to be dodging nonstop. We also have the Superior Sigil of Life for the stacking and transference. You can throw that in. I kind of would rather just have an energy one rather than transference, but I mean that's my choice. And if you have the gold, I'd buy the concentration sigil. It's broken. It really is. 33% longer boons on weapon swap. You put that on your staff. You swap it to staff. You got a really long empower. You use stand your ground while you're in staff. You got a really long stab. It's pretty pricey though. I think it's what, 40 gold now?
36, I think, something like that. So yeah, 40. What would you replace that with? The life, like
I
like instead of and keep the energy.
what I would do is I would drop one of the energies. So I drop the energy on the well, okay, this is wrong. The life is supposed to be on the mace. Rip. Well, yeah, I
Oh,
would
this guy.
the life is on the mace, the transference should be on the staff. But
Okay.
anyway, yeah, what I would do is I would drop the energy that's on the staff. So you would have concentration on the staff. No. You would have concentration on the staff, energy on the staff. So we're not dropping the energy on the staff.
Okay.
But for the
Thank
mace and shield, we would be dropping the energy for another concentration sigil. Because you want to double it up if you're going to run it. You know what I mean?
you. Mason shield concentration. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Preferred.
you'd,
Okay.
you'd also have the life sigil. And now people sometimes ask, why don't I run benevolence? It's because I don't remember how, but there was some type of thing. I did it with, I think, now. Like we ran through the numbers and it said the outgoing healing percentage. It's better to just have the flat healing percentage on Guardian. We haven't tested it with the after the nerfs, but I do believe it's still the same thing. So life is better than benevolence right now. Any questions on that? Oh, also rice balls and the oil. But you can get the oil for cheap from the portable provisioner. And it is this little baby for 5 badges. Pretty good deal right there. Alright, no questions on the build or anything? If you guys could you join the red team so you can see my arrows and stuff? Ah, I'm gonna join the new map.
I'm entering. Give me one moment.
Check out my audio. It looks good. Hopefully nothing cut out there. Alrighty. We're gonna begin with the most important thing. And that is the stab rotation. Oh, it's my favorite thing. It really is. Stab rotation. Before we begin, you should know what skills give stab on your bar. One, it's never your weapons. Your weapons don't give stab. That's kind of self-explanatory. But the your three main things that give stab are these. Stand your ground. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Stand your ground. Your mantra. It's your elite mantra. And your book. Tome of Courage. And if you open up the book, when you open up the book, if you hover over it, you can see it gives out boons just by going into it. So you have 3 stacks of stab, protection, retail, and quickness. So you open up the book, you got your 3 stacks of stab. And when you open up the book, you gain quickness. The most important thing about this quickness is that your skill 5, if you read it, Unbroken Lines, it has a cast time that's kind of long. But when you open up the book, you get that quickness and you use the skill 5, that it just burns through that bar. You quickly get another stack of stability. You get a unique buff that can't be corrupted called Unbroken Lines for 5 seconds, which is 300 toughness. And you give out Aegis, protection, and retail. Overall, a very broken skill that you basically get instantly when you go into book 3. Very important. Very first thing you do into book 3 is use skill 5. Now, the way it changes here is when we're in different situations. Now let's try to, simplify it by going here. Let me invite you two to the squad here so you can see my arrows. Is everybody in the squad so you can see the arrows?
Yeah.
Let's say we're about to go into a push. They're over there in the green arrow. They're outside, I don't know, 1.4k range. Kiyoshi calls in power and power. I'll get to that later, but right now we're just working on stab. Calls in power. It's like, all right, we're going to push in 3, 2, 1. Now you are in range. In range of 1.2k pulls, in range of stab hits right here, which means you should be in your stab rotation. For me, the easiest way to go into my stab rotation is to open up my book 3 if I have it. Again, you are in range of 1.2k. You should learn that, I don't know, just from playing. You'll learn that range over and over again. You are in that range, you are going to go in your stab rotation. I go into my stab rotation, I open up book 3. I hit my skill 5. He's saying that we're going to push in now. We're pushing in. So now what do? We are on the front line. Say I'm the pin for us. We're on the front line. We've already given out our stab. Everybody else on the front line basically has their stab. Because we're all clumped together, all the guardians, we're all clumped together. And if our team is thinking they should be clumped here too, because they're not going to be hit by anybody at 1.2k range. But when we're pushing in is when we start to take the lead and our backline starts to spread out a bit. They'll maybe give themselves a little bit more room so they don't get hit by the spike on the front line. So as we're pushing in, the number one thing I don't want to ever see from anybody here is you to throw out your skill 1 in front of the pin, or just forward. You're giving nobody stab there. Well, you're giving yourself stab and maybe Kiyoshi. 2 people that really don't need the stab. What you want to do as you're pushing in, you are pushing in with book 3. You've already used skill 5. You have 7 more pages. As you are pushing into the green arrow is the other pin. Turn around, throw it. As you're moving, as you're moving, as you're moving, as you're moving, as you're moving. Throw that skill so the people behind you get it. Another thing that I like to do now, since resistance is not corrupted into immobilize, is I like to drop the skill 4, which is this. It's an AoE resistance pulse. So immobilizes and all that, they don't work. If you drop that down, people can quickly get through there and maybe live through that push. So for book 3, it's not really a rotation through book 3, except for skill 5. That's the number 1 skill you use first into book 3 on push. Okay, so we've gotten through the push. Gone through the push. Everybody lives. You gave stab. They love you. You're the best guard ever. Now we're going into the second push. Empower, empower. Oh, heal, heal, heal. Okay, now we're going in. They're coming in. They're coming in. They're coming in. Oh no, your book 3 is on cooldown and your stab is gone. What do we do now? This is our second stab. Stand your ground. I'm suppressed. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, there you go. Stand your ground. You're going to use this. It's the easiest stab in the game. 5 stacks, instant cast, 600 range. You're through. That means during that push you can work on doing something else. Maybe healing through that push. I don't know. Drop in a symbol. There's lots of things I'll tell you later though. So that is your second part of your stab rotation. Second push, stand your ground. Now for the third part. Third part's tricky. If you get into 3 pushes, you know it's a good fight, and that means you really don't want to mess it up. So they're on the green arrow. We've made it through again. You gave everybody stab. You're a great guardian. But now you don't have your book 3. It's still on cooldown. And you don't have your stand your ground. And you don't have stab. So now you're blown. This is where the elite comes into. If you have your mantra, it's pretty self-explanatory. You burn through all 3 stacks. Again, if you have the mantra, you burn through all 3 stacks. That gives, I think it's a total of 7. Yeah, 7 stacks. 7 stacks. That's basically like a stand your ground, but a little bit delayed. It's easy. I don't really care about the stun break. If you can time that in a dome, go for it. Remember, that's your third rotation. You go through the push, and it's over. If you're using renewed focus, I will tell you when to use that during the healing lesson. That right there is your stab rotation. Everybody get that?
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
I wrote that down.
And what's the first one? Regular
Going
push.
into book 3.
Going in the book 3, skill
Mhm.
5, and then you use your
Mhm.
1 skill behind you. Easy. Next one. Stand your ground. All right, easy. Now, I'm going to talk about pirate shipping. Because during pirate shipping and when we're stuck in the chokes, you're going to get a call for something called a reflect. We do have a reflect. It is in book 3. It is your book 3 skill 3. Now, if we're using reflex during a pirate ship and we're not going to push in, and we have gone into book 3, we've already lost the majority of our stab right now. We've gone into book 3, so that's 3 stacks gone. We've used skill 5, that's another skill gone. And now we're burning up the pages to use reflex. So say we keep reflecting, we keep going. He's like, oh, hook right, hook right, hook right. We're still just pirate shipping, still pirate shipping. You're down to 2 pages, and he's calling for a push. One, you should have your screen looking at not view as grid. The other one, uncheck view as grid, so you can see your party, look at their stab, and then you gotta make the call. If they have less than 3 stacks, give them stab. Even if they have less than 4, in my opinion, since first push you're gonna get the majority of the spells on you. You want to have 5 or more. So if you have used your book 3 for reflex, and you are going into the first push now, and you do not have stab, use stand your ground. So you go through, pirate chips over, repush, and stand your ground. So now you have 2 gone after the first push. Both are on cooldown. If you're lucky, you used one a little bit earlier. Stand your ground should be up by the time you get your 3rd one done. So they're pushing in again. Use your 3rd one. Your 3rd one is either your mantra, or I'll go over renewed focus in a bit here. Everybody copy that? Pirate ship, if he's calling for reflex, you put the reflex down. They really do help. You can get some kills actually. It's really funny, but use the skills. Don't save it. Never save it. Rusty, stop talking about the rev build, man. Oh, he's not even here. Okay.
Ellie build.
Alright, now we're going to go into the 3rd part, which is basically what you do in between your stab rotation. Stab rotation should be like a machine. You should always be doing your stab rotation. If you're in range and people can be pulled, you're doing your stab rotation. You never will run out of stab if you do it correctly. If you double up on stab for no reason, you're going to run out of stab and you're going to be a bad guardian. And people will laugh at you. Do you want to be laughed at? I don't think so.
Yep. No, Dad.
So now we're basically going to say or do what we do during the push, after the push. Push 1, you're lucky you didn't use your book 3 for reflex. It's just a straight on push. You're going into the book, skill 5, and all the way through the push, you are using your skills in your book. There's really nothing else you can do here since your book has 8 pages and they're all very useful. So, yeah, there you go. If you're really winning the fight, you can use book 3 skill 2 to CC taunt. I'll sometimes drop a skill 3, especially like versus Maguma or somebody when they really cloud out and a reflect can save me. I'll drop a skill 3 in the middle of a push. Remember, you want to focus on getting that stab to the people behind you and getting through the first push. First push is, what I like to think of it is you either die or you live with full HP. That's basically first push. Because I don't really get hit that hard. The condies don't really come up because everybody blows out their condi clear in the first push. Now we're in the second push. We still have all our skills. Maybe we drop the heal. I don't know. We drop something. He's calling for empower. You can empower here. So you empower. We're going into the second push. Second push, since we're using stand your ground, you should be doing one of 2 things. 1, you can use your book 2. Book 2, it's kind of the same thing as book 3, but it does have a rotation. The second you go into book 2, you hit your skill 5. Your skill 5 is one of the most OP things in the game. If you read it right there, 33% heal effectiveness, plus 5 conditions converted into boons. Not only that, but when you go into book 2, because you also get those bonuses, everybody in your party loses 3 conditions. So in about less than a second, you can clear 8 condies instantly by going into book 2. Now after you use your skill 5, you use your skill 4. That's your big water. If you're on comms, try to call it like on pin, on pin, on pin. You don't really have to aim it since you're moving with the pin. You just drop it on the go, drop it on the go. And now what you do next is depending on the situation. If you have heavy condi pressure, you can use your skill 2. It removes 3 conditions. It's insanely overpowered and it's really fast. You can use your skill 1, which is just a burst heal. And I never use skill 3. So I don't know what it's used for. There we go. So that's using your book 2 into a push, out of a push, whatever it is. Now we're going to the third push, third push, third push. Right here, if you are running renewed focus, you should have popped it the second you got out of book 2. What renewed focus does is it recharges your virtues. So you've already used book 3 for your first stab, and you've already used book 2 to get through that second push. The second you get out of book 2, you pop it. You should never really need this for the invuln. You should only use it for the the quicker book up time, because you're running full minstrels. You have 2 energy sigils. You're not gonna die unless you're bad. So there you go. Now you have it. Now once you pop that renewed focus, going into the third push, now you have both book 3 and book 2. You have to use book 3 because you don't have the mantra. Pop book 3, same thing as the first push. Same exact thing. Any questions on that for renewed focus?
So you only use renew focus. I'm sorry if I interrupted somebody. Leaving book 2, correct?
Well, there will be.
Or is that kind of like a? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word.
The most
situational. Sorry.
Yeah, the most optimal way to do it is right after your book 3 and book 2 are put on the cooldown.
Okay.
So for some reason you use book 2 before book 3, use it right after book 3. You want to use it for the recharge. Don't be selfish and use it for the invuln. You should never be in that situation. Alrighty, that's basically the books right there, the book rotation. That's very simplified though. Very simplified.
I got one thing. This is fast books.
Yeah. What's up?
So one thing too is like if people in your party aren't near you and they're not getting stabbed, like that's their fault, right? Like don't take it to heart if they're not near the group
It depends
and you're spamming your stab, right?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. If they're off in Africa, like when I play warrior, I'm never near the group. That's why I sometimes just I can go with my own group because I know there's just no point in getting stabbed because I'm way too far off. And if they die because they don't have stab, that is 100% their fault. However, if you do this where you're running and you're giving stab right out ahead of the pin, just hitting Kyoshi and yourself, that is your fault.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you run out of stab, if you forget the stab, if they get pulled at 1.2k range because you've thought, oh, they're too far, I don't need to go into the rotation. There's no point in saving the stab. You should always have it up. Like you always have the stab ready. There's just no point in saving it. Now don't burn it. If you burn it, then you will not always have it up. By burning it, I mean using 2 at the same exact time. But yeah, don't take it to heart because a lot of people don't understand how Guardian works. They think that they give 10 stacks of stab every 3 seconds. But no, you got to be smart. You actually have to think about what you're doing if you want to be a good Guardian and give stab. Now what I did there was basically the most simplified push and pull thing ever where everything is working out great and the other team is just, straight up zombie pushing you. In different situations, you got to do different things. One of the most important things that I like to do, that it shows what a good Guardian is and what a bad Guardian is abusing the shit out of this skill. I'm still suppressed. Are you kidding me? Can you link staff 5?
It's like it's from the patch today. They like really aggressively increased how quickly you get suppressed for pinging things.
That's fucking annoying. But yeah, it's called Line of Warding. This skill is insanely broken. Right here. Venice, dodge through that. You see how you can't even dodge through it? Because you can't dodge through that. Can't jump over it. The only way you get through that is by taking a hit of stab. Now imagine if every single Guardian dropped that in a friendly dome as an enemy is pushing up to us through a choke. They're not getting to us, are they? No, they're not going to get close to us. If you drop this, their stab rotation won't help them. You get 6 of them, oh, they're fucked. Like there's nothing they can do if you use this skill right. I've gotten into situations where I've stopped, I swear to God, like 20 people pushing in just from this one skill. Even though it only hits 10. Because you hit the commander and a couple other guys, they pull back. They're like, alright, that push is over. That push is all gone. The skill is broken. Abuse it, abuse it, abuse it. Even if you're just bombing people. Say you're out harassing, you're out in pirate ship, he's calling for pulls or whatever, just go out and throw staff 5. You might get lucky. Like there might be a guy who MIs in, and as he's trying to run away, he gets hit by that. Because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna just have that thing. You're gonna want that thing on cooldown because you're gonna be throwing through 3 books or 2 books and powers. You're gonna be swapping weapons. You're gonna use your MI. Like you have so many skills to use. Make sure you just drop that one on cooldown. You don't really need to save it for a dome. Just use it off of cooldown if you can. Now in powers, this is if you're not sure when to use it, just wait for Kiyoshi to call it. If you've been playing Guardian for a while and you know what you're doing, it's basically when you're stopped or when you have a chance and you know you're not going to get bombed, use it. If you're in the middle of like a thick SMC fight, everybody's just everywhere, and you feel like you can get a full empower off, just read that skill. That's a lot of healing, like 12 stacks of might. It's a really good skill. Aggressive empowers they can win fights. Your next skill is your symbol. We sometimes just drop this in bombs because it can rip off. If you're lucky, you can rip off an Aegis, or maybe it does that one last tick on somebody to bring them into the down state. Just drop it. It's not like you're going to give people swiftness in the middle of a fight anyway. That's stupid. And another skill that a lot of people don't realize is really good is the Orb of Light. If you read it, you drop, it's basically like an instant cast, 500 heal, and then you can cast it again in midair for another, is it 3k or 2.5k heal? Why the fuck? Give me a second.
I don't remember. All I know is we usually just burst
2.5.
it.
So yeah, when you throw the sphere, if you're lucky, you can, like, aim it behind you for people that are in trouble. So you throw it, it heals 500 when it goes through them. Then you can pop it again for a 2.5k heal. So that's a 3,000 heal on a 6-second cooldown. 3-second cooldown. That's insanely strong. No, it's not. It's 8. Why does it say 3?
We get PvE cooldowns in here.
Oh, that's true. Either way, it's a broken skill. Next is our hammer and shield, or mason shield. And this is our new setup now that hammer isn't as effective. We have this beauty. I'm still suppressed. I don't even know why I keep trying. The skill 5. Can somebody link it? Shield 5. Yep, this skill right here. It's a great thing to stop pin snipers, stop harassing when we're trying to get through a choke point, trying to run away from somewhere. It's just blocking all those projectiles. Can also be used as a heal and a pushback, a CC. Another skill is shield 4. I just throw that out at random. I don't even try to aim this because it's just too fast and it's probably too hectic in a fight. But again, Aegis, you can hit 5 people if you're lucky, and 5 things protection on a short cooldown. That's instant. Just why not? Why wouldn't you use it? Skill 3,
It
I
does
like
a little damage too.
Yeah, I guess. Minstrel Guardian, you don't have to worry about that though. It's not your job. And then the next one is the Mace 3. This you get to also give Aegis. You also get a block, and you get protection. And remember, every time you give Aegis and it breaks, they get a 1.5k heal. So every single skill that gives Aegis, you're healing them too. So like just going through this mace thing, you're giving people about 7k heals in less than 2 seconds. And the symbol 2, I don't really like to use this unless we're like really winning, or we're stuck in a choke, or maybe we're holding a choke, because it feels kind of clunky. I don't know. Doesn't
It's
really,
slow.
yeah, it doesn't really do that much either. But I mean, if you can throw it down, you can throw it down. I usually use it to get bags, but as a Guardian, we don't have to worry about that either. That's your Mason Shield. Any questions about those 2 item sets?
I like Mace 2 for when we're pushing right into the Zerg and we're on pin, and then you just smash that down, and it's just like a nice AoE heal or regen, right?
Oh, the symbol 2?
Symbol of Faith.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when you
Skill
push right into them, it's just like a nice damage and heal. And if all the guardians do it, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, if I have the weapon set out during a push, I would usually just use shield 5 to try and get some stab off of them. But I mean, again, it's all situational. There's really not much you can do wrong when it comes to the mace of using the wrong time, using the wrong skill at the wrong time. Now let's go over something very important that us as a guild are really bad at. And that's MIing. Okay, we're gonna just go over situations of when to and when not to MI. Okay, I'm the friendly pin. The triangle is the enemy pin. You see the triangle? Stack up on me. Okay, we basically just got beat in a fight. So we're running away, we're running away, we're running away. We're trying to regroup, and they're slowly chasing us behind. We're running, we're running, we're running, we're running. And stop. We're gonna continue going this way, towards the green arrow. But an ally in the back line died here. And right where Perry is the enemy commander or their front line. So this is how close we are. We're really stacked for some reason in this situation. We're really stacked. We're tight, and a guy goes down there in the triangle. Should you MI him?
If the enemy's pushing, maybe no.
All right. Anybody else? Well, the answer is you do MI him. He's
Yeah,
close.
because he's gonna shadow step. He's close, and if the enemy's where Perry's at, if you're quick enough, you can hit him pretty good.
That's pretty much the name of the game. When you're MIing, you MI in. You dodge instantly. If you MI and he doesn't get up, you tried. Do not hand res him in this situation. That is the dumbest thing you can do. You are more valuable than whoever the hell just died there, unless they're the commander. I guarantee it. You are more valuable than whoever is dead there. MI? If it doesn't work, get out. If everybody MIs together, it works. That guy's going to dodge out and get to safety. You can even pop some heals on him using your healing mantra. Pop some heals, maybe go in the book 2 if you have it, get him up to safety. Then you did your job. You did good there. But again, do not hand res if we're running away from a situation or you can see the bomb coming at you. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. If we had blood necros, we wouldn't even have to worry about this situation. Okay, same thing. Same places. I could get rid of that green arrow. Except now the guy's back there. Yes or no? Answer is no. You would die
What, yeah.
instantly.
You said a question, I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, did my mic go out?
Yeah. I was like,
Okay.
yes or no what?
Okay, the guy's down at the triangle over there. Perry, can you back up to the green arrow? Enemy commander's at the green arrow. Actually, the triangle is like right here. See the triangle? Do you MI this?
No.
Hell no. Hell no. He's way out of position. There's no point for that. He's dead. Oh, what about this, though? We're pushing in. We're coming to the right here. Enemy is coming to the left. Do you MI this? Hell no. Why would you MI this? You're in range. You're in range of every necro skill right here. If you jump in there, now you're out of position. You've wasted an MI. They're probably going to corrupt all your boons, and then you're going to die there. And everybody's going to laugh at you again. How about this situation? Enemies on the green arrow. We're over here. We're bombing. We're pirate shipping. We're moving to the right. We're moving to the right. Guy goes down right here. However, enemy is moving to that position. We're moving to the right. It's basically the same thing. Do you MI here?
Still close enough.
If you're quick, yeah. If you were back here, you could quickly MI, dodge out, and you still make it in time. If we're over here and you're out of place and you think you have to do a 1.2k range MI to get to him, you probably shouldn't do it. That's it. How about this? We push through them. They've gone through us. They've gone through. Oh no, they dropped a dome on us. Boom. We got a bunch of downs. We got 3 downs right there. Kyoshi's peeling off. He's peeling off. He's peeling off right there. Right after the push. We're still here. We see a clump of downs. 3 downs right there. The enemy's doing the same thing. They're peeling off. Oh shit. I need a different. They're peeling off over this way. We got a clump of downs at the triangle. Do you MI that? Hell yeah, you MI that. If there's a clump of downs, you should MI that. 9 times out of 10, I'll be yelling for the MI there. Even in a dome? No. That's situational. If it's a dumb dome, like you can see a dumb dome when you know they can't follow up on it, go for it. But if it's really deep inside a dome, they're bombing the dome, don't do it. But if we just push through and they've pushed through and we got a clump of downs right there, there's only a bit of AoE, they're pulling off, you can see all this happening, go for it, get the fuck out. Again, if you don't res them, don't stay, leave. MI and go, MI and go. Alright, any questions on MI? It's mostly a thing you'll learn after playing for a while. Except we won't run it next week. Because we won't need it. Alright, no questions.
So what will we run next week then?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I was thinking maybe either that full-on Condi clear thing, the Contemplation of Purity, or if I wasn't in combat here, or Hollow Ground. No, not Hollow Ground. Maybe the Condi. What's the burning?
Purging Flames.
Purging Flames. There we go.
Contemplation
Maybe that. Yeah, people need the MI for the mobility, which is, I don't like using it for that. But if you need it, you can still run it. It's just a useless skill at that point. It just does a burst.
Templar, what was your first option?
Huh?
Your first option?
Oh, the Contemplation of Purity. Clears all Condis on you.
Well, Contemplation Purity converts into wounds. Right.
I can't look at the skill right now. When I've
Yeah.
never run it outside of PvP.
I run it for roaming.
Yeah, and it breaks stun too. So it's something.
Yeah, Purging Flames you have to be in, so that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, especially in the meta where we're all moving so much. That's why I just don't like running Purging Flames. But again, don't really need the MI next week, so. Alright, if there's none other questions, that's it. What weapon set do I mostly randomly stay in? Staff? Yeah, I'm on my staff a lot, but again, you're swapping from book to staff to mace shield. There's really nothing you really stay in. You're gonna always be in motion with these things, especially if you have the concentration sigils. Oh, you're definitely gonna want to be swapping a lot.
Switching books, opening and closing, it triggers that, right?
Yeah, if you have it on, if you have that weapon set on. So if you go in the book 3 right at the beginning, you haven't swapped weapons, you get a lot of stab, or well, a long stab. Now your stab really shouldn't run out in that case.
I mean, your boon duration is already like 70%.
60. I think it's 62.2. I built it to 62.2 with the water runes. So that means with concentration you're hitting 99 or something like that. So you don't have
Your
any
food also gives you.
Yeah,
some
that's
kind
So I think the food puts us over a bit, but
Not the food, the utility. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, quiz time. I'm gonna stop this recording though.